Legionnaires of the Lariat! Welcome back to another episode of I Still Call It a Lariat. I am back in New Jersey. With me, as always, is my tag team partner, stevezapf, and I am Michael Wright. And we are here today to review Wrestlepalooza. Steven, was this not the best show you've ever seen?
This was the most amazing commercial palooza I have ever seen in my life. I can't wait for the hippy dippy kids to play next time, and maybe next time we can have Wrestling Man instead of Burning Man. I don't know. Either way,
it's funny. On ESPN, if you read the review that ESPN did of Wrestlepalooza, the title of it was Wrestlepalooza above average? Not, the next WrestleMania or what have you. They're just shooting for a C.
And they were fighting for that C.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack with this pay-per-view. PLE. Well, I mean, most of us had to pay for it, so this was a pay-per-view. Showtime, you and I talked about this. Regardless of anything not financially related, I will bring up the financial stuff on this. WWE and ESPN dropped the ball on this by pushing through this pay-per-view and and now a bunch of homes weren't getting this with the promise of getting it. I had said this to you and you agreed. The easiest way to fix this would have been just offering a week-long free trial. And realistically, they probably would have gotten double paid by at least half the amount of people that they did it to, because everyone forgets to cancel free trials. So they probably would have gotten some type of money off of this. The other side of this was most of us that had to pay an extra $30 after paying $30, and then we still couldn't figure out how to download the app or whatever the situation was. And then we had 5-minute commercials between each match.
The app experience was horrendous. I've been known to say on this show multiple times, throwing shade at Peacock. Man, do I miss Peacock.
Right?
It's like Netflix is definitely the best experience so far, in my opinion. And I think that Netflix is a good experience. So it's not just it happens to be the best. I think it's a good experience on what you get with Netflix and their capabilities. I was got frustrated with Peacock because it just never they can never really get the show posted in time. Like, I'm not one that watches the show live. I usually get there a little bit late. And I can only rewind an hour of the show. It just seemed off. Like why can't I start at the beginning here? Where Netflix, there's a little button that says play from the beginning, which is funny because there's other things that I know that Peacock has and other providers have that say play from the beginning, like some of the live sports that they have. So that always bothered me. But the ESPN navigation and app for this thing was garbage. I couldn't figure out how to get there, and I think I'm a relatively tech savvy person. Every time I went into the app, I would press the first logo to get into it, and it would take me out to the page where I had to sign up for the paid subscription while already having the paid subscription. You had to scroll down multiple times to get back to it. And on top of it, when I was watching, though I didn't watch it all in one sitting, I always had to go back to where I was. It didn't save my place like literally every other streaming service has done from the beginning of streaming services. It was a poor fan experience. And I expect better out of ESPN and Disney. I expect better out of that WWE. I get it. Wrestling's all about making money. We say it all the time. That's the number one thing they want to do. Number two is entertaining fans. But you don't make money by having bad experiences. I bet you they lost money on this PLA by people just straight up not being able to watch it.
I think so, and I realize this is slightly off topic, even though it's still on topic, and that's then they kind of hurt fans even more by releasing those WrestleMania prices. Hey,
Yeah,
Showtime, do you want to find 24 other people and spend $50,000 to get the presidential suite and watch WrestleMania from the furthest point from the ring?
yeah. The cheapest tickets for the 2-day pass are over $800.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. That's more money than I've spent on, I think, than 3 of the WrestleManias that I've gone to.
Well, they got to make sure they make their money because it's not going to be in the U.S. next year.
I know,
So,
and I'm less mad about the Saudi thing. You know what's funny is I'm actually a little less mad about the Saudi thing than anything else. I'm more mad that WrestleMania is back in Vegas than I am about them announcing 2 years in advance that it's going to Saudi.
I'm not worried about any of it. It seems, I don't know, the money grab right now is so apparent, and it's like it's kind of losing. And like this show had the opportunity, and we'll get into it. I want to kind of steer us back to Wrestlepalooza. This show on paper had it. Like I was excited for it. And the closer I got to watching it, the more frustrated I was. And like, I think night one, when I was planning on watching it, when it was, a couple hours old, I just went to bed instead of watching because I just got frustrated trying to figure out how to get to it. It was harder than it needed to be to figure this out.
So much harder.
I turned it on and I fell asleep immediately. I hit the wall at that point. I was also incredibly jet lagged at that point in time, so that was a little bit on me. But still, it was crazy. But honestly, the biggest disappointment of the night, by far for me, and like I never start these off just like straight up disappointed, but I'll just jump in rather than say what was your favorite part. My most disappointed part of this was the Cena Lesnar match. The man, talk. We give Tony and AEW a lot of shit on the show, and sometimes rightfully so. You harder than me. I'm a little bit more understanding, I think, on some of his creative directions. I really do like the fact that that AEW will put us in a situation where you don't really know what's going to happen. I will say the John Cena retirement tour, when we look back on this in 5-10 years, it will be talked about as the biggest fumble in maybe wrestling history. This lack of direction, push and pull, the deciding to turn him heel, which was the biggest heel turn. So, man, honestly, this wasn't even a bigger heel turn than Bob Backlund.
It was not.
The way that this squash match, which is the only thing I can call it, is a squash match that no one wanted to see. Like, sure, everyone popped when Brock Lesnar came out, and then there was the backlash. But I don't understand why Cena needs to put Lesnar over in this thing. Like, even on top of all of it, I think him getting squashed by Lesnar makes Cody beating him less impactful. And whoever he puts over on his way out at this point in time makes it less impactful. Like, yeah, sure, he beat Logan Paul. I'm struggling here to see any kind of semblance of why this makes any sense. Like, Lesnar does not look strong. Doesn't need to look stronger than he is. And that means, so for me, it means one of two things at this point. This is the only way I can rationalize it. One is Lesnar's coming back to a full-time schedule. Like a real, I know he only has some high-level dates right now, but I think it'll be much bigger. Or they're setting up Braun Breaker versus Brock Lesnar and trying to make Brock Lesnar look like a monster so Breaker can be the new one. Though that's the only thing that I can rationalize this with.
So, Cena losing would have made more sense if they were. I'm just trying to get a rational thought out for this one. If the heel turn had never happened, and we hadn't wasted so many dates on that terrible heel turn, because that's what it was. Is we wasted all that time with him as champion.
Oh yeah.
That we didn't get the John Cena greatest hits. We would have had probably 12 to 15 more dates left rather than 5. And if we had 12 to 15 more dates left and you wanted to set up a storyline where Cena got destroyed again by Lesnar, and this set up where he's going to go out in the sunset with one win over Lesnar to finish off his career, I would have bought that. The problem is he only has a finite number of appearances left, 5 or 7 or whatever it is, a really small amount. And it doesn't seem like they're actually going to build on this storyline, because since this has happened, they've announced that for Perth, we're now getting Cena versus AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were just going to get Cena's greatest hits, and the guys that we're talking about for the greatest hits, they don't need to be put over. Brock Lesnar is more over than he has ever needed to be. Like, he doesn't need the rub. And AJ, I'll actually give it to him. If they had AJ go over, I would be okay with it. If they had him beat Lesnar and then had him go and then have AJ go over on Cena, I'm like, all right, that's cool, because they've had AJ on a bit of a weird tumultuous streak lately. So maybe this is his way of getting back into like a semi-main event picture. And that would be cool with me, because it's AJ Styles. Brock Lesnar, I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't care about it. And it just seems like, again, I hate to go back to it, but it's all just a money grab. We're actually hurting the base audience at this point. And I get it. Money is still the main objective here. Getting paid is the main objective. But the fact of the matter is we were on such a high going into like WrestleMania 40 that there were points where me and you said, if they keep up on this, who knows where they could stop. And then it just stopped.
Yeah. It hits such a lull. And I don't know. I think it's lost its way at this point. It's not done. I'm not proclaiming the end or anything silly like that. So don't take it that way. But this, I don't know, this whole Cena thing, it really, it's been mismanaged, and it's bad. It's bad storyline. It's bad entertainment.
Well, and I heard this too. If this was going to be continued, and you were going to have Lesnar destroy John Cena, so that you could set him up with one last match at the end, and that's going to be his ride off into the sunset match because he beats Cena, or he finally beats Lesnar. You can't have him walk back to the locker room afterwards, because after he takes that whooping and he gets up and he walks on his own accord, I'm like, oh, well, obviously it wasn't that bad.
But John Cena has to stand tall in that moment, right? Always does.
He could have started walking. I heard this one too. He could have started walking, and as he got about half or a quarter of the way up the ramp, fallen and not been able to do it. And then all of a sudden, like Cody or somebody comes out and picks him up, and it's like he still tried. He was still trying to fight it out.
I can tell you, there's so many more people I would rather have seen him fight and even lose to on this thing than Lesnar. It just doesn't do. I get it. I get you want to hit your greatest hits. He's probably his greatest rival. I mean, Edge would be great too, but obviously we're not going to get that. This one, I don't know. We'll move on. I think we're just going to go in circles here.
Exactly.
Really disappointing. Was it 8 minutes or whatever?
Something like that. Under 8 minutes, I think. Just
squash match. It doesn't make sense. What I actually thought was a really entertaining match, though, was this tag team match between the Usos and the Vision, or the Bronze, which is way cooler.
The Bronze.
I didn't need this to turn into LA no DQ. Yeah. Which was disappointing in my opinion. I would, a brand new match came out yesterday. Another version of the street fight that we didn't need, but it was fun. And one thing that I really want to see them do is now start having people hit Braun Breaker with chairs and hurting themselves. That was a happy accident I think you could play off on, like how much of a monster he is. Because like excuse me, the freak accident of him hitting Breaker in the back with the chair, it bouncing off of him and hitting Jay in the face and busting him open is, I mean, it's hysterical. Like, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I don't want anybody taking any head bumps. None of that is necessary. But, like, that's crazy.
Well, and I heard they actually carted Jay off after the match. Like, they were actually worried about like concussion protocol and stuff like that. So, like, that's insane. I absolutely love this tag team of Braun and Bronson. I really do. This is one of those tag teams that could really revitalize a lacking tag team division right now. And you and I constantly say, and I'm actually going to retract one of my statements, because I used to say that, like, Vince didn't like tag teams and Triple H just doesn't know how to write tag teams or create for tag teams. But I'm thinking that's not true, because NXT at one point had a really, really strong tag team division during that old black and gold brand. And that was all Triple H. So this is just him not caring about anyone that's not at the top of the card. And
and we've said that before.
Yeah, and I would love to see a tag team that's actually at the top of the card. Like, if we could start getting some real tag team main events again, that would be awesome. You know, I'm old enough, we're old enough to remember the old, Midnight Express versus the Rock and Roll Express, and that being the headline on the show. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that again. And you have some talented tag teams, and this team of the Vision, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, is definitely one of those teams that could propel that into a real thing.
I would like to have seen a little bit more teamwork by them. Like, as they get into, obviously it takes time to develop that chemistry, and like just the massive power moves that the two of them can do together, which is just one of those things that, like, I would like to see more of. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed this match. It was it wasn't a 5-star match by any means, but it was
fun.
It's exactly what you expected to get. Adding LANA to the mix was great. The animosity between Jay and LA Knight was good, and the finish, it was like the weakest spear, trying to spear both of them at the same time, which I was a little disappointed on, because like he could have ripped both of them in half simultaneously. But I do think that they might have rushed the finish of this match because of Jay.
Because
hitting himself in the head. Yeah. Just, he might really be hurt. Get this, take this home. But all in all, we picked this card exactly the same. We got Cena wrong, of course, but we both had the Vision win this. There's no doubt. I think that's how this was going down. The next match in this match of the night, only reason why this whole card had a passing grade, because otherwise it would have averaged probably a D, was Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer for the women's world title. This match was great.
Match of the weekend. Thank you. Yeah. I don't care which show we're talking about. This was the best match. And anyone who says otherwise I'm sorry, you're wrong. This is one of those times where there's not different flavors of ice cream. This was the best wrestling match of the weekend.
I agree. These two put on a hell of a match. Really showcased their individual skills. They mesh really well together in styles. So to put on a great spot. When we saw, I want to make sure I remember this correctly. We saw Stephanie Vaquer in AEW for that one match, right? She was
for the one match against Mercedes, and she did really well. And then she got signed like a month later or something like that.
I think it was like the next day. I just want to make sure that was the story that I remember correctly, because I remember seeing her in that and being like, "Oh, I want her to win." Like it was quick. Like, I had no idea who she was. She was in this match against Monet. Not that I was overly rooting for Monet to begin with, but like you kind of saw her in the ring, being like, "Oh, that's talent! Holy shit!" Like I did not know you existed, and now I do. And then it was like the next week she was signed to NXT.
It was really quickly afterwards.
We were not the only ones that had that thought in that moment in time. And she has skyrocketed to women's champion. Like, this is quick. And it doesn't feel too quick.
No, it doesn't, because she is that good. And literally the only thing that I said that she needed to change in this match, she changed. We got that. We got her to switch to that spiral tap finish during this match, and that was awesome. And I'll tell you, man, I don't want to not give Io her flowers too, because the fact that she was able to take those dragon screw leg whips the way she did, those things looked nasty.
Were gnarly, man.
Those were
gnarly.
Those were nasty looking, and I give Io all the credit in the world for being able to bend like that, because just ow. And then just everything they did, man, it all made sense. It was athletic and yet competitive. They looked like they had at least respect for each other, but they had enough respect for each other to actually fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It didn't look wrong. Like there was nothing about this match that looked wrong. Footwork was correct. You know, even as far as the parts that could have been considered or over choreographed, as we like to say. I think
did have a little bit of over choreography.
There was a couple spots right in the beginning. A lot of the EO flipping over like a leapfrog or over the drop downs and stuff like that. That always gets a little touchy for me. But realistically, the amount that they had was so minimal. I'm gonna say it, and I'll probably repeat it when you hear our review of All Out as well. This is the match that they were hoping Mercedes and Riho was gonna be.
That's fair. When the over choreography gets me, when you're looking for spots, like that's when I think it's the most noticeable. Is like when you are like half a beat ahead of where your opponent's supposed to be, and you're like, you're here, and now you're really here. So like that's where I think it is the most prevalent. You did notice it in the very beginning. I was like, ooh, I wouldn't expect that from this match, but then it quickly faded into oblivion. It wasn't that much of a distraction. That spinal tap, corkscrew, whatever you want to call it, it was fantastic. The whole match, this whole match was great. I'm happy for her. I hope they put like. The one thing I am nervous about with her being champion is I don't know if they know what to do with her. Like, who's next? Like, spoiler for Raw, no one came out to challenge her. And so, like, I don't know where they're going with this. A lot of their top talent is locked up.
I think they're going to, honestly, as far as real challenges go right now for these top titles, I don't think they're going to touch anything just yet, because they're going to start getting ready for Crown Jewel. So
okay.
I think as far as Stephanie goes, I think they get this nice little grace period where they have stuff that they can work on in the background while she is so clearly going to be challenging whoever the WWE Women's Champion is over on SmackDown, which it looks like it's Tiffany right now.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it's going to be Tiffany going into Perth. But all the other champions are relatively established champions, and she's not. Like, Stephanie didn't beat a champion to become a champion. She beat a former champion, multi-time champion. So like that's helpful. But I would like to have seen someone kind of emerge on night one to help like solidify her as a champion, given that she didn't beat Naomi for this title. That's all. That's what I was kind of looking for in that moment.
Like if Bayley had come out and she beat Bayley, that would
or even Lyra.
Someone
Lyra's not necessarily a decorated former 3-time women's champion or anything like that. Doesn't have to be all that much, but just kind of going over on somebody else would have been great. Like particularly like I won, here I am, and then someone's music hits. It's like, we're gonna throw down. Like that would have been a nice kind of agree. Give her one title defense before, but that's all. I guess that's just my own personal preference, but so it is. Moving on, we got the intergender tag team champion. He won third champion and everything. Silly me. There's not very many titles defended on these cards. But we had CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch in honestly exactly the match I wanted to see. To be honest, they kind of played this by the books.
They really did.
Cutter, but also like they hit the beats that I wanted them to hit. So like it was cookie cutter and very predictable, but at least they did what I wanted to say.
I completely agree. Yeah, I think that works. Let's hear it for the Brookses versus the Rollinses. I really, this was what I said I wanted. I didn't want this to be a wrestling match. I think this match was really fun. I didn't expect a fight. Again, the previous match that we were talking about, Io versus Stephanie, I did expect a 5-star match, and I got it.
Right.
I got what I wanted. I got exactly what I wanted. And this, I was not expecting a 5-star match, hence I got exactly what I wanted. I got a fun match with a personal issue. This match is Wrestling 101. It's, a guy and his wife versus a guy and his wife that have a personal animosity for each other. And this is pro wrestling. This is, we can check back any territory in history, and this storyline is the same thing. Whether it's Tully and Baby Doll or any of that stuff, like that's like it all comes down to the same thing.
And I think that's the reason why we're so upset about the Cena Lesnar match, because our expectations were this match was put on the card to make Cena's retirement tour better, and it did the opposite.
It did the opposite.
This beginning of this match, I was just cracking up. Becky refusing to go in, blind tagging in, tagging out, just jerking the chain of everybody involved was great. Becky makes Seth better.
I agree.
And I don't necessarily think it's the other way around. I'm not trying to take anything away from Seth, but Becky by far makes him better than the other way in this scenario.
I absolutely agree. I think she brings a certain level. It's funny because as much as they have this playfulness about what they do, there's a certain level of seriousness that gets brought over Seth with this. And even the aftermath of this show, we see it where he's not doing his weird Joker thing. The last, like this, and then on Raw, it was more like he's starting to take things a little bit more seriously. And when Rollins has a little bit of seriousness to him, that's when I like him the best, whether he's a face or a heel. Like the stuff going into Cody finishing the story, that was some of the best Rollins stuff that we got because he was not, sing with me, look, sing my song, ha ha ha. We didn't get all that. We got him being like, the Rock's a prick, and I don't like the fact that he gets to do what he wants, so we're going to stop this. And then where even this, you got a bit of that because of this personal animosity between him and Punk and Becky and AJ now. And I don't know if this is over. I doubt this is over. This seems like
this won't be over.
If anything, this is on hold for, 2 or 3 weeks until Perth is done. And like I said, I really like this. I thought this match was fun. Overall, this PLE, this pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, if it wasn't for Cena Lesnar, it's not a bad show. It was a fun show.
We'll get to it, but I'm disappointed in the main event.
I'm disappointed because I've heard what was pitched.
Yeah, I don't even care about that. I heard that earlier today, but let's finish this match before we go there. I don't mention gear all that often. I try to save it for something outstanding, and usually Naomi, because she just has the best gear in the business. I don't care. Fight me. But Seth and Becky like really brought it. Like their entrance gear was fantastic, but then when they derobed or whatever you want to call that weird shoulder techno punk thing, they were wearing like matching gear that really fit both of them, but matched at the same time. I from that moment, I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna like this." It was just like they had put the attention to detail into it, and I tried it with Punk and AJ, but like their styles are just so drastically different that it really didn't. I don't think translated as well. Not that it was bad; it just comparatively wasn't nearly as good. Uh, the I knew this was going to go down this way. You knew that AJ was going to win this match. The getting her to get Becky to tap, I think, was a pretty big deal.
I think so.
So that's one to kind of hang out. I think you got your number one contender right now for the women's intercontinental title. I don't know if she takes the title from Becky, but this will be a good way for her to get in. I thought that was a good way to ease her back into the ring. AJ did not get a lot of time in. I liked a lot of the stereo moves. I almost wish they would have done stereo go to sleeps on AJ and on CM Punk, like using their moves, because they teased it. Of course, they teased it, but like I was like, "Ooh, are they gonna actually do this? Like that'd be fun." I like the double pedigree. The two things that really stood out for me on this match was one in the very beginning when Punk did the suicide dive to the outside. Did you see how hard Rollins pushed Becky?
No.
Go back. He was like, I have a chance to hit my wife and I'm going to throw her across the wall, the world. He pushes her out of the way so hard. I was like, whoa, man, whose side are you on here? Like
I'm saving you.
CM Punk from the ring may have hit her lighter in that moment.
Well, he was blaming her for, getting them involved in that match.
I guess so. It was just one of those moments that really cracked me out. I was like, he threw her out of the way. And then the other one was when Rollins got Becky out of, is it the Widowmaker? It's not the Widowmaker. What's the finisher called?
No, the octopus, I believe it is.
No, it's a spider thing.
It's not the tarantula.
No. But when AJ was around the first time, I wasn't really watching anymore. But when he got Becky out of it and it swung him into it, was awesome. It was a real seamless way from that move on one person into another person, and like I popped for that, and like almost wanted to see him tap in that moment in time, and he came close to it at one point.
Black Widow octopus hold is what it's called. It is an octopus, but it's a Black Widow.
And Seth, no, sorry, and then see, I had to throw a little shade at CM Punk here too. Does he know how to put a sharpshooter on somebody?
No.
Like I know he's used that move in the past, but like he really struggled with Rollins putting him in that, which cracked me up a little bit. So I only go that route because I could tell the smile on my face. I was really entertained with this match. The middle of this card was good. The center of this card was great. And the bookends of this match were infuriating and disappointing.
I agree.
Which brings me to the main event, where Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre with the undisputed WWE title. Save what you've heard, the speculation that may or may not be true. If it has something to do with Drew McIntyre and I don't hear from Drew McIntyre, I don't believe it exists. I'll just put that there. He's told me that before, and I believe him. I had said going into this match that this had match of the year potential, and I really believe that. And maybe I set my expectations a little too high, but this was a cookie cutter main event. This is both of these guys wrestling their generic versions of a match. They didn't go above and beyond. No new moves. Didn't really pull the story going around. They tried to work this Cody has brain damage or whatever it is. That was like making him stumble early on and then completely forgotten halfway through the match. I liked how they ended it to a certain degree. I hate the ref involvement. The ref losing this match. Like, someone's always got to screw McIntyre out of his title. and they've run out of people. So now it's the referee who's doing it. Yeah, like all of it was just, I was just like, come on. Like I was like rolling my eyes watching this one. Really disappointed on how much this could have been better. But at least Cody has a line of really opposing heels on SmackDown to go up against. Oh wait. He doesn't.
He does not.
I
have a question. Why is Drew McIntyre the only guy aside from AJ Styles that one Crossroads puts him down?
Well, one Crossroads didn't put him down.
Okay, he didn't have to hit the three.
Cody Cutter. It was, and there was another move in there too. After, like, I thought that, I thought we were in for at the end of that match. I was like, oh, here comes the triple Crossroads, but it was like a triple, 3 different moves that hit him there. So I wouldn't say that in this one.
I get it. You want Cody to still be the champion going into Perth. At the same time, this match was it was tailor made to get the title off Cody and put it on Drew.
Drew versus Rollins would have been great.
I would rather have seen that champion versus champion in that case.
Yeah,
especially they're both
2 Manias ago
heels. You know,
no. Drew's not the bad guy, but if you provoke him, I really like that line. I honestly, I really hope Rollins wins at Perth. Like, it's not Cody. I am a huge Cody fan. I love his in-ring work, but it's
just been stale. Yeah. I can actually guarantee you. I can almost guarantee you that Cody's not winning in Perth, or that Cody is winning in Perth. I can almost guarantee it.
Because then that just cements that title as a secondary title. 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row. Unless they're gonna flip flop it a little bit. But then, are we saying that Rollins is that much better than Gunther? Because I don't think he is.
I mean, that match could have gone either way with Gunther and Cody. Like, it was a close fought match. Where then if Gunther were to beat Rollins, it really helps elevate him in that situation. And I can actually see Gunther coming back as a face. He's not really, like, Gunther's not a heel or a face.
No, he's just
a menace.
Yeah, he's just a beast. He's a real beast. He goes in there. And again, it's one of those things. I love Gunther, and I could see that. If my worry is, so I figured we weren't going to get it as much last year as we got a little later into the look, and it was the crown jewel in Riyadh like we had. But this seems like the opportunity where I think Punk could screw Rollins in this match. I don't know. I'm hoping that no one screws anybody and that you are right and that Rollins wins this somehow. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't want to say this because I don't know him personally, but it doesn't seem like Cody is doing too many people favors and giving too many people the rub lately.
Well, I don't think that's fair, to be honest with you. Because, like, this is really his first time being champion in WWE. Sure,
that's true.
It's the second time he's holding the title, but like this is prime. This is where you establish yourself and that legacy. Like you never see a champion for the first time putting other people over. Though I do think, like we talked about, like AJ beating him earlier on would have made this a little bit better because like you made him more of the fighting man's champion, where we wanted to see that coming from the American Dream son.
I agree.
Who's the everyman.
So let me change how I'm saying this then. The Office isn't doing Cody any favors by having him run over their entire roster right now. Because I don't believe anyone's going to beat him at this point, and they're not giving me any reason to believe anyone is going to beat him at this point.
Like, Rollins going over on him cleanly would be great. Even if it's such a huge thing that you want to do a quick rematch and get Cody to go over, I'm in. I think that the only way that Rollins really goes over is if the Vision gets involved, and like that'll be kind of his way of winning the ring or whatever it is that they get these days. But I think Rollins has to win that match. Otherwise, we just have the Intercontinental title 2.0. That's all it is. We brought back the European title.
Can we? Can we bring past
to? Yeah. I would like to. But let's get a TV title out here. That's because that's the way I look at that. So I was just really disappointed in this match. I thought the two of them were going to bring their A game and put together a match. Like, it was a good match. Like, it wasn't a bad match by any means. I really did like the end of Drew trying to kick Cody's head in again, missing, going through it, and that's kind of how he lost because he hurt himself. And it wasn't in those moments of him losing his cool. It was just like, all right, well, this is he set up for it. I kick his head in. The fact the ref getting involved was dumb. I struggle so much with the rules of wrestling and why it's legal to throw somebody through a table, an announce table, but it's not legal to throw somebody through a folding table. Like what?
It is. Here's where I try to crowbar this a little bit, and I think we had this conversation on one of the AEW pay-per-views, or I talked to somebody about this on one of the AEW pay-per-views. It might have been when I did the one with Mozart. I want to know how that works. So Hangman put somebody, I think Hangman put MJF through a table that MJF set up, but Hangman didn't set it up. Does that just become part of the set then at that point? Because like hitting someone with the stair or throwing someone into the stairs is not a disqualification. Throwing someone into the guardrail is not a disqualification. I think it just kind of becomes part of the set.
I think there's a difference between throwing somebody into the ring steps and walking over to the announce table, ripping it apart, pulling all the monitors out, setting them up on the table, and throwing them through it.
I agree. I agree, and I think it should still be. I'm a big believer too. That
why is it a disqualification for using the ring bell?
It should be. I mean, I agree. It should be. I'm a big believer too. We need to start getting back to intent is enough reason to disqualify you. If you swing a chair at somebody, your intent was still to use that weapon.
I don't think I agree, because I like that thing where I tried to cheat and wasn't able to. But at the same time, I think there needs to be a line, like busting through the announce tables where that's just clearly someone's workstation. Because then the ring bell should be fair game. It's right there at ringside. There's no difference. Or like, maybe do I just have to walk somebody over?
You have to walk somebody over to it. You can't actually swing the ring bell at somebody, but you can.
I can hit the.
Well, it's on the table. Yes, it's fine.
I can hit the ring bell with the person, but I can't hit the person with
the ring bell. Yeah, that's how that works. It's cool. Dumb.
It's dumb.
That's dumb.
That's really dumb.
Oh, it's terrible.
Like I get why the ring post is in play. It's right there. Even the steps, like throwing them into the steps, but not picking them up and hitting them with it. But even that, like when people don't get disqualified by hitting people with that ring bell, the steps, the ring steps.
I don't get that.
I don't know. But I do like, but it's funny when the person's holding it to hit me with it, but then I drop kick it and hit them with it. In my mind, that's disqualification too. Because you used the ring steps against them, even though they were the ones holding it and trying to use it.
I get it. Rules. You want to know why it all works? Wrestling.
wrestling. It does, but it doesn't work. I like countouts. Like that's my biggest problem with what happened with McIntyre and Cody. That referee shouldn't have been down there getting in Drew's face to stop him from kicking Cody through the table. He should have been in the ring counting them out.
Yeah, especially since they had been out there for a little while. Like, you get in his face once to tell them they both get back in the ring, and then you roll back in the ring immediately and start counting them.
You start fast counting.
All right.
Hey, Drew, you're going to lose this title. So that's why I was disappointed, because I really did think this could be a match of the year candidate, because I think very highly of these two gentlemen. I love their styles. I think they work really well together, and we just got a normal through the motions, their normal move set, and that made me a little disappointed. So to end that on a downer, like Wrestlepalooza kind of was, that is our review of 2025's Wrestlepalooza on ESPN. Oh, should we stop for a quick commercial break, Steven?
Quick commercial. Don't forget to watch the Hippy Dippy Rich Kids and Sarah McLachlan and whoever else at next year's Wrestlepalooza. Oh wait, that's Lollapalooza. Sorry.
We have again, folks. Like, subscribe, comment below. Tell us why we were right. Tell us why we were wrong. According to Steven, you cannot have an opinion that doesn't agree with his for Stephanie the Cure and Io Sky. So if you do have a different opinion that it wasn't the best match of the weekend, keep it to yourself. That's his words, not mine. You could tell me why he's wrong. Though I actually agree with him, so I don't disagree. Please like and subscribe. Like I said, share it with a friend. If you don't have any friends, tell a stranger. And Steven,
as always, guys, remember, tuck your chin when you bump.